see me? Hopefully you can. Let's turn this off. Yeah. Hey shit, so man. That's right in my face. Not great. Not great. I can turn it. There you go. That's all I need. That's really all I need. How about this? Okay, cool. Yeah. Hopefully you can hear me. I cannot know for sure. Sometimes a bit gets lost in the mix. Hola, ¿cómo va? Tralalero? Okay. Okay, so last time I did a bunch of random drawings. You guys requested, and before stream, I was like shading this guy. Guess I could add a little bit of shading here. Lighting tends to be a challenge. Come on, there you go. This is supposed to be the Pink Panther, but just forget about that. Come on, stop it. There you go. Cut it out. Right. I don't know what I'm going to draw, but let's take it easy. This is the last stream of the week, so if this is the first time you join, consider a follow and a like. Helps a bunch. It's completely free for you. And I have a bunch of streams that you can watch on my YouTube channel if you want like something on the background while you draw. I think that's a good use of my stream. And yeah, oftentimes when I'm drawing on my own, I do that. I put a podcast or something like that and just do my own thing. And do I want to draw? Let me think. I'm thinking if I want to draw a muse or well, maybe this hint of, let's see. So in my country we have a tradition are called Diablos de Yare. So it's like a traditional mask. Right, messes up, but I feel like though that I can modify it after if I want to. As I've been saying in my most recent streams, I might change the schedule for the streams because we're trying to make some changes into our daughter's um, bedtime. So we have to reschedule certain things, move things around, you might say. This might be like too clean for what they actually are. If you look them up, you can find different. There are infinite amounts and designs of this mask. It's not one specifically. Um, it's like a whole thing. It's a really interesting tradition we have. And contrary to what you might think by looking at this is meant to steer away the bad. So it's a good charm thing. I think it's a mixture of African and Catholic traditions. We have a large influence of African um, descents or well people that was brought from Africa and also native uh, Spanish. That's all South America, of course, or most of South America, as far as I know. And all good, I think. How are you, Water Croc? I guess I can say it like that so it doesn't become a tongue twister. Um, cool. Did you check out Cannon Busters? I I I saw that there's like a whole thing around that I didn't know about. Apparently, allegedly, the creator they kind of connected him to like he started that show with a Kickstarter and kind of left a lot of people hanging with what they at least as what some people were saying as far as I was able to tell. But the intro is so good. I enjoy that intro so much. It's interesting, kind of fun. I can stop. Maybe it's because the of the I started watching that show during kind of I was going through a rough patch. Like I was working all day and all night, or most of the night. So on my uh, trip from and to work, I would just I download episodes of that show so I could watch it on my phone. And I don't know, like just it was kind of when I saw it, it was like okay, now I can go home. I can go home and get some rest. So I have that association in my mind. What? I don't like that. What the heck did just happen? My phone activated the the Gemini thing. Oh my god, this is starting to get Black Mirror. Yeah, those are maracas with faces. Exactly, that's what those are. Maracas with faces. It's really interesting tradition. Like if you look it up, you can see like it's a full suit that they use, and it's like a you could say like a party of sorts. I don't know if I would call it a party, but it's definitely a religious tradition, and it's really important in Yare. Los Diablos de Yare, so the Yare Devils. So if you look it up, you can find it on YouTube. You can see them like they do dances It's really, I find it really interesting that even though there's no direct connection, it kind of always reminds me of like Japanese masks and their own traditions that they have. And they also do that, like they have a whole set of masks that they use to like steer away evil, and they're like devilish masks. And I don't know, I find it interesting, um, how different cultures, even though from different parts of the planet, intertwine, or can kind of end up in a similar tradition, or I don't know. Like there is this phenomenon, I don't remember the name of it, but I saw a video about it, I think last week or something, that in Europe, in Europe, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but in Europe there's a moth, this like a giant moth that if you look at it, it looks really similar to what's the bird that flaps the wings really fast? The in Spanish is colibri, but what's the name of that? Well, anyway, it's a bird that it's super fast, moving the wings. Hummingbird, that's it. My mind went to mockingbird, but it's not. Uh, is that a mockingbird? Um, so in Europe, there's this moth that it looks really similar. Like if you look at it from afar, you can mistake it for a hummingbird. But if you get close, it's a freaking moth the size of a hummingbird. So my point is, there's this phenomenon in evolution that apparently, whenever there's no, I've talked about this before, that whenever there's a creature that is not filling that void in that ecosystem, another creature evolves to fill in that void. So I find it really interesting because they're not related at all. They're from completely different parts of the planet, and still you can find similarities. So that's how I connect it in my mind to this. That was a long, extensive explanation as to what I meant. Uh, yeah, I wonder if anybody's writing anything, because oh no, nothing so far. Right. Uh, I don't think. Let me check here. Like, I have to be mindful because it oftentimes do not show when somebody types something. Yeah, it's a weird mix of things because it has, as far as I know, I'm not an expert. I'm from Venezuela, and we've been exposed to this festival. Uh, like everyone has seen one of these masks. But yeah, it has, as far as I can remember, it has Catholic and African influences. But just to not be freaking nonsensical yapper, let me look that up. So So the Brotherhood of the Blessed Sacrament of the Dancing Devils of Jare. The masks are pieces made of plastic. Well, the ones I know are made out of paper. Plastic paper and newspaper, among others, of various sizes and different shapes, reflect with bright and fluorescent colors the image of a demon with deep eyes and pronounced chunks. Can you talk about the meaning here? So the Dancing Devils of Corpus Christi refers to a set of popular Venezuelan religious festivals held on Corpus Christi, celebrating the presence of Christ and the Eucharistic. We hello. Uh, General refers to the practices of 11 brotherhoods in various regions, which include more than 5,000 people, among which the best known is the Dancing Devils of Yare. These manifestations were recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage in 2012. I didn't know that. The brotherhood groups originated in the mid 7th century on the Aragua and Vargas state farms. As early as 1749, Corpus Christi was celebrated, and men and women and children dressed as devils to fulfill promises made to the Blessed Sacrament. Different origins have been attributed to the dancing devils Corpus Christi, according to a story about the San Francisco de Jare Brotherhood. 400 years ago, a priest without the means to hold the procession of Corpus Christi said, "If there's no money, no believers to carry the Blessed Sacrament in procession, then the devils come." After a storm, several devils presented themselves in front of the church. Regarding other stories about the Jare Brotherhood are some references describing in a clear and illustrative manner how the dancers were Kua devils. Kua devils? I had never heard of that. There are 11 groups recognized as guilds. They're guilds, societies or associations which constitute hierarchies to dance annually and make promises to worship and bless the sacrament. All are independent organizations established in the respective communities. In contemporary times, groups or have organized a non-profit association that accesses public and private funding to improve their organization. Its origins are traced back to the 18th century, being the oldest brotherhood of the American continent. Wear colorful garments, layers of street fabric, masks of grotesque appearance, also accessories like crosses, scapulars, rosaries, and other sorts of amulets. The fraternity of devils is divided in hierarchical order, represented by their masks. There are other expressions, but they're not getting too much into the. As far as I understand it, it's meant to. Yeah, it's a religious thing. A festival devotion given to the patron Saint Francis Paola. Wednesday, wake for Filas. procession and dress code. In the folkloric festival, devotion is given to a patron saint, St. Francis of Paola, and to Jesus Christ in the Blessed Sacrament. The celebration starts Wednesday with a wake where folias and native music style are played. Decimas, a native form of poetry, are recited, and rosaries and other prayers are recited until dawn. The next day, the devoted, disguised as devils, perform dances around the main town square. They also parade through the streets dressed in their red costumes and masks. Later, the group moves towards the front of the church where the Mass has ended. The Eucharist is placed at the church entrance, and a sort of fight representation begins between the devils and the guardians. I didn't know that. Maybe did I ever go to that? Like I've seen that tradition, but maybe I haven't experienced the entire thing. Finally, the devils surrender and kneel in front of the Eucharist to show submission, dancing to a rhythm of the bamba, a music style that is more reverential. The entire performance represents a victory of good over evil. So, yeah, they do represent kind of evil forces, I guess. My understanding was always that they kind of, well, I guess the overall arc of the thing is that it's supposed to be like, get out of here, bad things. Like a cross made out of blessed palm. The dancing devils wear red shirts, trousers, and stockings, a mask depicting a devil, and a canvas sandals. They carry a cross made out of blessed palm leaves, a rosary, a medallion with the image of Christ that can be substituted. They also carry in one hand a devil-shaped maraca, and in the other a whip. It's a really interesting tradition. It really is. Judge. I think I remember you just waiting to say that you want me to draw Iron Judge. I don't even know who that is. Iron Judge. So, Yankees. Yeah, you are not here. Aaron Judge, American baseball outfield. So he plays for the Yankees, the American professional baseball outfielder for the New York Yankees. Major League Baseball. Let's see if I can actually draw this dude. I wonder where he's from. Oh, he's from Sacramento. Oakland Athletic. Is he like Latin American descent? I wonder, because we have so many So many Venezuelans in the major leagues. Opening day at the Yankee Stadium. Mm, they don't say anything about that. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm looking into it. Uh, I was looking for info on who that player is. All right, let's give it a go. Adopted. He was adopted. I kind of it would make sense. I have no clue if he seems to be he seems to be if you look up what's his name el, one would be no that one what's his name, there's one from the Tigres de Aragua, uh, forgot. Yeah, we had a bunch of players that were they were there, like I think Bob Abreu was one of them. um, Omar Vizquel, Galarraga, best player in baseball. Probably now. There have been a bunch of awesome players for sure. I haven't seen him play. Haven't seen him play for sure. Let's see, what image can I use? Mm, this could be. This is a cool image. You're not gonna see it. Okay, let's go for this one. See if I can draw this dude. Yeah, I'll turn it around. Yeah. This might be terrible, but I'm gonna try it. Hi, Anna. Well, I'm trying. If I succeed or not, it's yet to be seen. But uses a really considered or considerable face protector, which I understand. If it's really good, they're gonna try to get at him. It's way easier to deal with a good player that way than to get. Well, baseball is a really sí de los Yankees. Baseball is a really like tactical game. I don't always agree when they start doing that, but they do it a lot. Where they kind of start, they just give him the base. They can take him out easier that way. If he has a really high, um, what's it called? It's promedio or average. Like if he is above 300, then most likely they're gonna be super tactical about how they deal with him. What did he say? What do you mean? ¿Qué parte? So here's that. I think it's probably a she. I could be mistaken. I apologize if I got that wrong, but that is a baseball player. That's what it says there. Has those eyes wide open. You have to have like really good reflex to be able to bat. Again, I might get this wrong, but I'm trying. Again, Still to be seen, and still not done. Right now, gracias. I cannot right now, Max. That's my dog. Dude, chill. Give me a second. You've been sleeping. Like, could I please finish this? Give me a second. I think he's bored. He's probably bored. Pretty sure my granddad must know who this guy is. He's a huge Yankees fan. Not the greatest Yankees logo, but you get the gist. No worries. I don't know if I like it, but it This is what you requested. I think I messed up the position of the arm. And actually, I think this arm is actually larger than what I added there. Quite probably the case. And I do have to add the shadows, otherwise it's not gonna look all that great. Wait, buddy. Hi, how are you, Annie? Um, it's a player, a Yankee player. When did I start YouTube? I started YouTube a long time ago. Well, I opened the channel a long time ago. I started like really adding videos here. I think 2019 or something. Maybe 2020. Yeah, I speak Spanish. Spanish and English. Hola. Alright, so just finish this off. Yo estoy en Argentina, solo que hago contenido en inglés. Oh, happy birthday. Hope you had a have a cool birthday. Almost done here, Max. I don't know if he heard my wife. Maybe she stand like went to the kitchen for something. I don't know. He sometimes if he thinks there's food around, he just starts getting all like a little bit pestery. Like, can you give me food? Give me some food. Like he eats twice a day, so he he's fine. You mean about the food? Well, I get it, but he cannot eat all the time. That's not good for him. Like we have to keep an eye out. He is really about eating all the time. So yeah, if you keep feeding him, he keeps eating no matter what. So you have to really keep him in check and not kind of fall for his traps of could you please give me something? Mhm. Yeah. Uh, what is going on here? Why? Can you guys see this well? I'm wondering if this is that better or should I just leave it like that? I don't know. I'm already at the hour mark, so I might end it soon. I usually do this for around an hour. That tends to be the gist of it. That's what that needed. That works better. I know it's not perfect, but looks better than what I expected. Right, just gonna add some more contrasty things here. Close your fingers. What? See you Monday. Okay. I just wonder why and how. But okay. Okay. Alright. Bye. Well, there he is. And we have another one. Do I want to use this? I don't know if I want to use this one. No worries. So good. See ya. Oh, glad you like it. I just wonder about something. Okay, we're wrong, but I have a hunch. I have a hunch. Anyhow, so I guess I did this one and this guy right here. I guess I'll be back next week. I don't know what I'll do for my regular uh, schedule. But I have to do some other things. Anyhow, if you decided to watch my stream, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. I will go live on Monday again. I guess I'll see you all next time. Let me find my music. I have my illustrated deck of cards that you can find on my website. You can get delivered right to your doorstep. And I have a Redbubble shop and some phone backgrounds on my website as well, if you want to check those out. Anyhow, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you next time. And the music. What happened to the music? There you go. Bye.